All right, welcome to my video. I'm going to show you today how to make a template for Adobe with Adobe Express for the glowforge. So the way we're going to do this is just do a quick Google search of Adobe Express. If you haven't used it before, it's going to ask you to sign in, right? So let's go here. It's going to look like this. Pretend to sign out so you can see how it looks. There's a little sign in button. And you can start with Google or you can put your email address in. I'll just do with Google and I'll choose my OUSD email. I do have a lot of emails, don't question me. And we're gonna click company or school if it asks you. The the glowforge is basically a laser, right? That we have at Redsdale that engraves things, right? You can see here it's a big laser and it burns material. So we have wood, acrylic, and mostly wood and acrylic, but there's some other things that we can burn if we dial in the settings right. And as you can see, there's basically like three different things it does. It cuts material, which is where like you see this rounded part out of a chunk of material like this. It scores material, which basically means like doing an outline of the material, and it engraves material. All of these things here on this picture are engraved. Something that would be scored would be something with an outline. Um, like this one right here with I don't know what that says, arm buster, right? So when we log into Adobe, it might look like this. And for today, we're just going to be using Express. So we're going to click on Express and it'll take you to Adobe Express. It says, "Hi, Julian, what do you want to create today?" You can do other things with Adobe, but since today we're going to make a template so that we can see how a material will look, we're going to click a plus, and you can use any of this stuff, but personally, I really like using custom size. And right here, it's 2560 by 2560. We're not going to use that. We're actually switching it to inches. The reason we do that is so that we understand the size we're working with. When you're creating a thing, try to think about the size that you want to create. Like for a sign for something, you might use the whole bed length, right? Which is glowforge bed length is, I think it's 19 and a half by um 11. Yeah, 19 and a half by 11. uh or if you're just doing a keychain, we could do something like smaller, like 5 by 5. That way we have an idea of the size that we're going to be making, right? It's always good to like look at some rulers and look at the guides that we have around the class to kind of think about what size you want to make your thing. I'm gonna do 5 by 5, and this is the Adobe Express toolbar, and this top part is like basically your, I don't know, just some other tools. The only one we need to really use today is this background color. So we're gonna click background color, and obviously you could change the background color if you're making posters and stuff. We're not making posters. We are going to be using no color. The reason that we use no color is that if we use color, what's going to end up happening is that the glowforge will read the white as engrave. It'll read the blue. It'll read the whatever color you have behind it as engrave. And just to avoid that, we take off the color. If you don't have the color, it's not the end of the world, but it does give you another step. The first tool we're going to look at is text. The text here, I can type in whatever, my name, right? And I can use it in different fonts. I can do like a nice little font. I can do that kind of font. The fonts are right here. And if you go to Adobe Fonts, you can look through more fonts if you don't like any of these. Um, I will use this stencil bold font because I think it's cool. And you can make it smaller and bigger by clicking on the corners. And I mean, you can do other things by moving it around. If like you can't move it, try to like focus on the mouse, and like it will change things, right? Like this one is telling me make it bigger and smaller. This one is move, and this one is like highlight, and this one would be to like lengthen, right? So just be really careful. It's kind of hard sometimes. And now I got my Felix, right? I want you to put your name here because that's that way I know who did the template, right? And under elements, where you have digital design assets and backgrounds and shapes and icons. For this tutorial, I want you to focus on shapes and on icons. The reason that we're focusing on shapes and icons is when you get things with color and a lot of detail, it becomes a whole nother thing. Sorry. So we're going to look at shapes, and under shapes, you see all these different shapes. You could choose 3 shapes of whatever you want. I'll choose this flower, I'll choose this rectangle, and I will show you for icons too. I really like this bird, say I like the bird, and I like the basketball. You can see here I have all my stuff, and cool. What I want you to do is I want you to learn about these 2 things. All things have them, and that's called a fill and a stroke or a border. Um, in Adobe Illustrator, these are called your stroke. Here it's called your border. Same thing with text color, outline color. That's basically what it is, right? Here I only have a fill, and then here I have a fill and a border. It really depends on the element that you're using. Um, what I want to do today is I want you to learn 3 different colors. And those are the 3 things that the Adobe platform is good at the glowforge can do, right? And that's score, engrave, and cut. I'm making this rectangle large. I'm taking off the fill, and I'm going to make the border red. The reason I'm doing this is because the glowforge will automatically usually read this red color as cut. So if we don't cut this out, whatever we send to the glowforge will stay on the material, and it won't have a way to get off the material. So if your material is like 10 by 10 and you only engraved a 5 by 5, it'll still be stuck on that unless you cut it. So we're gonna have this border here, and I have the border thickness to 1. That way, it takes less time basically in the glowforge. If you have it smaller, it might take longer. Here I have an issue though, where when I try to click on, let's say I want to click on the flower, I'm still clicking on this square, right? And that's because of the layer panel on the right. So I can actually move it to the bottom, and now when I click it, the first thing I'll click is the flower, and I can still click on the square. If you're trying to click on something, look at the layers, click that thing, and then try to move it. So the colors that we're going to be using today are green, red, and this one I'm going to show you even if it's not filled and the border is black, let's say, yep, black, it will still do the engrave. And I'm going to do it like this. And then just so that way I know which is which, I'm going to add some new text. I could click add text, or I could click one of these. I'll click add text. I'm going to do 1 red, 1 black, and 1 green. This can be obviously 3 different text boxes, or it can be just one. And then I'm going to make it all like that and like that. Cool. And then I'm going to make my red, obviously red. I can just focus on the outline too, or not. Now I'm going to make my black. Well, it's already black. And I'm going to make my green, green, right? Technically, it doesn't have to be these colors, but these are the colors that I've chosen. So to make designing easier, when I design stuff, I'm kind of using these colors as my baseline, right? Now when I'm done with my template, I'm going to click download, and I don't want you to click download immediately because a transparent PNG is not going to work on the glowforge. You need specific files for the glowforge to read. So today we're going to use PDF. It's not the best file, but it's the file that it does work with the glowforge, so it's fine. And then I'm gonna name it when I download it Felix. Yes, I have another Felix, but I'll save it as Felix. You can also name it up here. And low key should be the first thing you do, but I always forget to do that because. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I'm back. So on the glowforge, right? I'm gonna sign out just so you can see. Um, glowforge owners are the only people who can make a glowforge account. So if you don't buy a glowforge, you don't have an account. So we're gonna log into staff.rudsdale uh, at gmail.com, and the password is panther5 exclamation point capital P. It's probably going to be written somewhere in the Fab Lab if you're using it in the Fab Lab. If not, just ask. And then I'll create new design. I'll click upload file, and I'll click my file Felix. So now it is sending the file to the Glowforge, and there's just a couple steps that we have to make sure to understand in the Glowforge. It usually takes a bit of time, and it takes even longer for really complicated designs. So if you see your design taking a long time, just give some time. You can see here our square is almost 5 inches by almost 5 inches because we didn't use the entirety of the canvas. But in reality, I don't want to print that big. So I can make it smaller. Same thing as last time. I can even reverse it. If you're using transparent materials, that's usually what you'll want to do. And 2 by 2 should be pretty decent. To zoom in, you're going to click up here on the zoom, and I can click 250. And it didn't take me to where I want to go, so I'm going to click up here to pan, and I can see up here. When you're putting your design on there, I want you to try to like squeeze it the most you can to the lefts and to the rights, and to use the material as smart as you can, right? On the left, right, the reason that we named our stuff what we did is the red now is here, and the red we said was going to cut, so we got to set the machine to cut that. This black is reading it as cut for some reason, so we have to change that. We want it to engrave, and then this green should be score, right? And I'm actually going to move it in a little bit because if it's over here, it turns red. It's not reading it. The machine's not reading it, and here is fine. And now I can see my design. Black is engrave, red is cut, and green is a score. And then I have my name Felix. Cool. Um, and just a couple little things. With the Glowforge, when you put the material in, you want the QR code up. It tells you what material, and the camera will pick it up, and it'll tell me automatically. If it's not picking it up, or you don't have a QR code, you're gonna have to type in the Glowforge what material you want. If this was, let's say, clear acrylic, I'd go here and I'd click the kind of acrylic I'm using, medium clear acrylic. And the settings, you might not see it, but they will change here based on the material, right? If I'm using clear acrylic, it's going to have different materials than if I'm using ash hardwood. It changed automatically. You see ash hardwood, it goes full power on here, whereas the purple acrylic that we're using does not use full power, and it uses a lower speed. Um, if you're Once you get more advanced, you can start learning how to tweak those settings and how to make things look how you want it to look. Here you could see basically how a template will come out. On the engrave will fully color in our image. The score will just do a nice little outline, and the cut you can't tell here, but this will actually just fall out when I pick it up out of the Glowforge bed. When you're using the machines too, up here in the top right, this shows the 3 machines that we have access to. The design class is the one on the left, Glowforge Plus and FabLab. They're all marked. And if you, for some reason, see that your design is on some other machine, you're going to have to go up here and select it. This one doesn't have anything in it. This one has somebody else's design in it. And this is the material I put in so I know which machine I'm actually using, right? And if I wanted to print this more than once, right? Let's say I have like a really cool earring design or a keychain design. I can just print out more than once by copying and pasting using Control C and Control V. What I want you to do is I want you to print two of these templates out. One of them is for me and one is for you to keep. All right. Once you are ready to print it, you're going to click on the top right where it says print. It's going to take a while to process, and then it's going to tell you how long this print is going to take in order to finish. Then you have to get up, go to the machine, turn on the fan, and click print. And after that, you should have a template that you can use to understand the material that you're trying to mess with and the different settings. If you have any other questions, please let me know. The next tutorial I'll teach you how to do is basically how to turn an image uh, or how to make a design with an image. All right, uh, that's the end of this lesson. Thank you.